Sound, low subterranean rumble, blending with distant thunder visual. A serene blue sky, slow push-in match cut to a quiet forest floor. Beneath calm skies and under silent soil, forces are always gathering. Some rise from fire below, others descend as fury from above. When they awaken, history bends. These are Earth's twin tempers, storm and magma, pressure and charge. We've named them in textbooks, in myth, in memory, but names can't contain their power. Imagine heat building in an ocean, molecule by molecule, a quiet theft of balance. Warm waters breathe vapor into the sky. The sky shapes it into a spiral. A heartbeat forms. A hurricane is born, an engine of heat that refuses to stop. Now imagine pressure pooling beneath rock, century by century. The crust flexes, fractures. The mountain doesn't simply break, it exhales its buried heart. Volcanoes are not mountains, they are openings. Sound, rolling surf colliding with storm winds. Growl of eruption fades in. Visual, satellite of a spinning cyclone. Cut to time-lapse of an ash column rising. Hurricanes drink warmth and turn it into wind. Their eyes promise calm. Their walls deliver ruin. They push the sea onto land, as if erasing a line we thought was permanent. Katrina in 2005, Haiyan in 2013, maims that scar, human memory. Volcanoes lift ash into the stratosphere, fine, abrasive memory that scrapes lungs, grounds, airplanes, dims the sun. In 1991, Mount Pinatubo cloaked skies across the world, cooling the planet by 0.5 degrees, and a pyroclastic flow does not run, it pounces faster than a racing car, hotter than a furnace, a grey avalanche that steals breath before it steals sight. Pompeii in 79 AD was entombed in a single day. St. Pierre in 1902 was erased in minutes. Lightning is the sky's handwriting, 1 billion volts scrawled in a fraction of a second. Hotter than the surface of the sun, brighter than 1,000 torches. Sometimes it writes in unfamiliar letterspheres that float like spirits. Red sprites leaping upward into space, blue jets stabbing the edge of the stratosphere. We have equations, but the sky still has the last word. In Venezuela, Catatumbo, lightning flashes thousands of times a night, a natural lighthouse scene for hundreds of miles. Yet no one fully knows why. When magma meets water, the world negotiates by violence. In Hawaii, lava pouring into the Pacific explodes into glass fragments, hurled back onto shore. In Iceland, eruptions beneath glaciers unleash floods so vast they carve canyons in hours. Fire does not always announce itself with flame. Krakatoa in 1883 met the sea with such fury that waves more than 40 meters high swept away coastlines, ships tossed inland like toys, and 36,000 lives vanished in hours. Not all killers arrive in fire. Some move in silence. In 1986, Lake Nyos in Cameroon turned deadly. Carbon dioxide, stored beneath its still waters, suddenly overturned. A suffocating cloud rolled into villages. More than 1,700 people died in their sleep. No eruption, no flame, only silence. Lake Kivu, larger and more populated, holds an even greater volume of gas, enough to threaten millions. A reminder that sometimes the calmest landscapes conceal the gravest danger. Sound, pages turning, distant storm rolls, visual, archival textures, maps, ships, ash-covered towns, telegraph lines. History remembers these awakenings. Krakatoa shattered the 19th century's confidence and painted sunsets red around the globe. Tambora in 1815 unleashed such fury that the following year became known as the year without a summer. Crops failed, famine spread, millions suffered. Literature itself shifted. Mary Shelley, trapped indoors by endless storms, imagined a monster called Frankenstein. In 1783, Loki in Iceland poisoned skies with sulfur. Crops failed across Europe. Some historians believe its strange fog and famine helped ignite the French Revolution. The Earth does not only destroy landscapes, it redirects human history. A solar storm in 1859 lit the night sky with auroras as far south as the Caribbean. Telegraph wires sparked into flame. If such an event struck today, our grids, satellites, and internet could collapse overnight. The nervous system of modern civilization trembles at a solar cough. Sound, airy, shimmering tones, faint aural static visual, aurora unfurling like silk above a snowfield. A volcano glows on the horizon, but not all power arrives as threat. The heavens paint with electrons. The poles bloom in green and violet. Storms whisper in color. We measure them with instruments, and still we fall silent. Elsewhere, a cloud rolls like a living cylinder, the morning glory in northern Australia stretching hundreds of kilometers across the horizon. Pilots chase it to ride its invisible waves. Beneath polar seas, a binnacle drops like a glass finger, freezing everything it touches, a deadly icicle crawling through a cathedral of blue. Rain itself sometimes defies belief. In Honduras, villagers speak of the rain of fish. Each year, after fierce storms, fish litter the ground. Scientists suggest waterspouts lift them from rivers. Locals see a miracle. In Kerala, India, crimson rain stained the ground in 2001. Was it desert dust? Microscopic life from the sky? Debate lingers still. Frogs, spiders, even stones have fallen from the heavens. The atmosphere, even in the age of satellites, still guards secrets. We can summon lightning in laboratories and read the atmosphere's pulse from orbit, yet mysteries remain uncommitted to paper. Why do some storms invent their own electricity with millions of flashes in minutes? Why does ball lightning linger? Why do lakes choose a night? Science advances by saying we don't know clearly enough to keep searching. Sound, subterranean throb, heartbeats layered with Stone Creek visual, wide aerial of a calm caldera, people and bison tiny against the plain. Beneath meadows and forests lie magma chambers the size of nations. We call them supervolcanoes because admitting their scale is the first act of humility. Toba, in Indonesia, 74,000 years ago, may have reduced humanity to a remnant of a few thousand. Yellowstone sleeps today, its caldera quiet, but its chamber vast. If it erupted on such a scale, ash would blanket countenance, crops would fail. Global trade, fragile and intricate, could collapse. Civilization itself would face a test. Yet volcanoes write in both ink colors, devastation and fertility. Their ash becomes soil. Their heat creates minerals. Whole islands, like Hawaii, rise as signatures of their fire. Civilization is built, in part, on cooled magma. We live by invisible agreements, signals, timing, power. A severe solar flare could erase those agreements. Benton's, planes, phones, grids all tremble when the sun coughs. A modest eruption once grounded flights across Europe for days, stranding millions. Imagine when ash goes global, when ports slow, when fields wait beneath dark skies. Complexity is strength, but also fragility. And yet, we are not helpless. We can map floodplains with lasers, listen to magma with seismometers, and teach cities to avoid the paths of ash and flood. We can build failsafes for power grids and silos for grain. The point is not to predict the exact day, it is to remove surprise from the equation. Preparedness is the opposite of panic. It is the decision to breathe before the wind rises. Sound, light rain, birds under distant thunder visual, child's hands catching rain, an old tree, a skyline after a storm, washed clean. The earth does not rage to destroy us. It rages because it is alive. Storms remind us the atmosphere is restless. Volcanoes remind us the crust is thin. Lightning, auroras, red rains, brinnacles all. These remind us how little we understand. The future is not about silencing the sky or sealing the mountains. It is about living with them, learning their language, respecting their rhythm. For millennia, humans imagined gods in thunder and dragons in clouds. Even now, myths echo in storms, and awe shapes our silence. Every hurricane that lashes a coast, every eruption that redraws a map, every glow across the night sky tells us the same truth. We are fragile, but we are aware, and awareness is survival. Sound storm fading into calm wind, then silence visual. Wide shot of Earth from orbit, storm swirling, volcano glowing faintly, aurora rippling across the poles. The sky is restless, the Earth is breathing, and neither is finished with us.